I'm Jerry Story, and this is the breakout session for controlling choreography for winning results. How many of you would consider yourselves primarily, mostly, predominantly a sight caller? How many of you would consider yourselves predominantly a module caller? How many would consider yourselves reading only? Reading, couple? C3A? Good. How many feel that they use a well-balanced combination of all the methods available to us? How many think that they could learn some other things besides sight calling? Good. We're going to have a good session. Sight calling is a good tool. It really is. But it's not very efficient for new callers. An experienced caller that gets to call a lot, he can become pretty good at it. And he still says that he's sight calling, but he's not. We call it that, but it's really not. He's recognizing where he's at and executing from there. And he's using relationships unconsciously. So many callers have learned that about themselves since 15 years ago. We started working on relationships because we feel that sight calling took us too far in one direction. And callers felt that they had arrived. They can now resolve the square. My continuing education had come to a stop. And they really fooled themselves, because without all the other good stuff that comes along with it, that Barry's going to show you how that works here in just a minute, is relationships. Everything, all the good stuff, is contained in relationships, because that's where we launch get-outs from. That's how we figure out where we are. If you learn to recognize where you're calling, where you are, instead of sight calling, we call it recognized calling. You're going to be able, after this session, I'll guarantee you, you'll be able to look at the square and figure out one of the 4 places that you can possibly be. Don't be confused by the CRAMS document that says there's 16 stations. Yes, there is. There's 4 substations at every primary station. There's only 4 primary. Where can you be? There's only 4. You can either be with your partner, your corner, your opposite, or the elusive right-hand lady. Boy, we don't even know who she is, do we? She's over there, and she's very powerful. There's lots of stuff goes on over at that right-hand lady's house. We don't even know who she is. It's being sight callers. But she's great. She's a good cook. I go over there a lot and have dinner. I ain't kidding you. And then I'll send them back home across the street to my corner for dessert. That's the beauty of working with the right-hand lady, because you're over there working with 4 people. The corner's not there. And all of a sudden, you resolve, you got to take them back across the square to get back to your corner, don't you? Well, if we paid attention all the way along there, we would have known that we're at that right-hand lady's house. Why are we having to sight call? Why don't we just look out there? There's only 4 places that they can be at any given time. Let me ask a question. Hey, Jed, I want to ask you a question, all right? You got 4 people standing on the floor. In that group of 4, there's one couple that you know paired up. The other couple's not paired up, but you don't see a corner there at all. Where are you? Thank you very much. That's the kind of stuff that you guys need to learn if you want to get out of your sight calling mode. You've got to be able to recognize that there was 4 people on the floor. There was one of the couples that you know. Your next question is the corner in that box? And we said the answer to that question was no. There's only one place you can be. Across the street at that beautiful right-hand lady's house. But that's how you... And now, if, Jed, you got a box of 4 standing out there on the floor, and there's no pairs in it, where are you? Opposite lady. Exactly. If there's no pairs, there's only one place you can possibly be, and that's with the opposite lady. Randy. These 2 young'uns, Jed and his brother Lincoln and their older brother Noah, they've all been through this several times in the last 3 years. And just to prove to the rest of you that you can become very, very efficient at it, there's living proof right there. I know they're a little bit younger, Randy. And that does count for a lot. But I think it's something that proves the fact that if we try just a little bit, we can see these arrangements on the floor, we can tell whether we're with our opposite, whether we're with our right-hand lady. And this gentleman right here is going to show you right now how we do that. Do we have pinafores?
We do.
Well, we need a square. How about a nice hand for Mr. Barry Johnson? Going to do you a good job on this right now.
All right. We do need a demo square up here, and we have these lovely fashion accessories for the different colors here. You'll notice that there are no numbers on these. I don't care what number couple people are. I don't care if they're heads or sides. All I need to know is whether people match. What color do you want? Would you like this fluorescent orange or purple? Purple. Okay. We have orange left. I need 2 oranges. Thank you, Jay. There's 1 orange and right there behind you. Can you get those for your square at home? My wife will make them on commission. In different sizes, shall we, if we need. Some, you know, she made these things and I put them on and I said, well, it seems to kind of fit me. And then later, they don't fit me so much anymore. So, all right. So, before we begin, Jerry mentioned, first a little bit of terminology here. We're familiar with formations. We're familiar with arrangements. We're familiar with sequence. Most of us, unless you've been through these kinds of presentations before, most of us are not familiar with really seeing how relations work on the floor. And part of that is the old historical way in which relations were defined, kind of intertwined with sequence and things changed. So we've introduced a new single word of vocabulary here. The word is station. Station refers to the set of relationships within a group of 4. We're going to look at those relationships here right now. Let's have the sides lead right. I'm sorry, undo that. Let's make heads. Sorry. It'll look better on the floor here. Heads lead right, please. Very good. Okay, so if we were to split the square into 2 groups of 4, doesn't matter if we do lines, columns, doesn't matter if we do 2 boxes of 4. For the moment, let's stay with the 2 boxes of 4. We can count the number of matched pairs, and I'm going to define that word matched in just a moment. But how many sets of partners do you see in each box of 4? Tell me loud so we can hear it on the microphone. How many? 2. Okay. Any time that you see a group of 4 dancers with 2 pairs of partners in there, whether they're next to each other or not, we're going to call this the partner station. It turns out that for every man in the square, his partner is somewhere in the group of 4. Everybody veer left. Ladies trade. Okay, now we're our group of 4s turned. It changed shape a little bit. We don't care about shape. All we care about is the group of dancers in our group, the membership of the group. We still have the same people here. In each line of 4, how many matches, how many couples do we see within the group? It doesn't matter where they're standing. We see 2. All right? Anytime you see 2 matches in a group of 4 dancers, you're in the partner station, and every man's partner is somewhere in the group of 4. All right? Let's see. Let's have the ladies trade once again and couples circulate. How many matches? 2. What station? Partner. Great. Let's see. Let's have the boys circulate. Let's have the ladies circulate. Let's see. Ladies, you turn back and then circulate for me. All right. How many matches do we see now? 1. Yeah. You know what? I should have reminded people to look for corners first. I can tell you, because I know where my corners are. I can tell you that before we started, I happened to notice that Oz and Susan were corners. Okay? It's the only corners I know. So we see how many matches in each line of 4. We see 1. 1 match. All right? The next question, if there is only 1 match, I have to ask myself a second question. Does my line of 4 contain my known corners? Susan and Oz. No. So I can tell you, 1 matched couple, no corners, every man's right-hand lady is in this line of 4. We call this the right-hand lady station. All 8 circulate. How many matches? 1. Are our corners in the same group of 4? Yes. Oz and Susan are together here this time. Right up here on my corner. 1 couple, corners present. Every man's corner is in this line of 4. Now, wait a minute. I'm saying some really strong things here. Just because I see one guy with his corner somewhere in the line, I really know that every man's corner is in his group of 4? Wow. That seems like a really strong statement. I only know 1 corner, but I can say definitively, when I'm in the corner station, every man's corner is somewhere nearby. Now, Oz happens to have his corner by the hand, does he not? Yes, he does. I can further tell you, without any shadow of a doubt, every man in the square has his corner by the hand. Wait a minute. I knew we had 1 matched couple. I knew that my corners were in the same group of 4. And I can see that they happen to have hands together. From that, the power of relationships tells me, and I can prove this mathematically for any disbelievers out there, every man has his corner. All right, so let's see. Let's have all 8 circulate once again for me. How many matches? 1. Corners present? Nope. Station? Right-hand lady. Right-hand lady. All right. So let's see. Let's just have the girls circulate, if I could. Okay. How many matches do we see in each line? 0. This is the 4th station. This station, whenever you see 0 matches, every man's opposite lady is in his group of 4 with him. We call this the opposite lady station. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were to, well, okay, let's see. What else can we play with here?
Here's how you can tell that you're in an opposite lady station. It's one thing to say that you're in an opposite lady station, and it's another thing to be able to see it. He just told you, but how do you see it? Look on the diagonal. Do you see your partners on the diagonal? Anytime you see your partners on the diagonal, that means you've got your opposite lady. By the hand. And anytime you want to get to your partner, then just circulate, because opposites and partners work across the street from each other just like corners and right-hand ladies do. Everybody circulate, and I know I'm coming to my partner. Now they're all paired up. Circulate. Now I think I'm at my, everybody circulate. I think I'm at my opposite, but to check myself, I'm going to look on the diagonal. There's another good checkpoint, and I want to show you that right now. Swing through. Boys run. Bend the line. Now, here's what we've got. This is another way that I can tell I've got opposites, because this line in front of me, I can see that they're all partners, but they don't have their partner in their hand. This is an all-partner line right here. But the partners aren't in their hand, are they? I call this, I've got his girl, he's got mine. In my mind, I can see this. And you guys, now that I've told you about it, when you're sight calling, you see this line a zillion times a night. You go flying by it, but you're not even paying attention. I want you to pay attention. You'll see this line right here often. And when you do, it's a partner line. And to change it to an opposite lady line, all you have to do is chain the ladies across. But if you want to go on from here, you can stay with this thing and go to partner lines all kinds of different ways. Pass through. You know you got partners there. They're all in the line, but they're not together. Wheel and deal. And the centers wheel around. Look what I just did. A couple of calls, and boom, they're right there. Okay? So carry on, and I'll stop you again when I think you need to. Okay?
All right. So the station that the dancers are in relates only to the membership of the group of 4, those people that are in a group of 4. Everybody veer left. We have two-faced lines again. How many matches? 2. What's the station? Partner. Very good. It doesn't matter what shape we're in. Let's have ladies trade. We can change the membership of the groups of 4 without necessarily changing the station. Couples circulate. We've just changed who is in each line of 4. How many matches? 2. Station. Partner. We're still in this partner station. Oh my, we took a man and his partner, took them out of a group of partners, and we replaced them with a different man and his partner. Obviously, we're still in the partner station. Doesn't matter. All right. For ladies circulate. Okay. How many matches? One match in each line. Okay. Do we have corners present? No, we're in the right-hand lady station. Okay. I can tell you that since our one matched couple is not standing next to each other as partners, I can tell you that means that every man has his right-hand lady along with him. Couples circulate. We just changed the membership of our group again. However, like the couple circulate we did with partners, this time, starting from a right-hand lady station, which was easy to see, we took a man and his right-hand lady out and replaced him with another man and his right-hand lady. We're still in the right-hand lady station. Let's double check. How many matches do we see? One. Do we have a corner present? No. It's got to be right-hand lady station. So we could dance. If I simply remembered these two people, I could dance people all over the floor as long as I kept these four dancers together. And if I needed to trade two dancers, just put these two together whenever I move two dancers across to the other side. I can change membership of the groups all night long without ever changing the station, as long as I keep the man together with the station lady. All right, bend the line, please. Past the ocean. All 8 circulate. Recycle. Veer left. How many matches? 1. Do we have corners? Yes. So the station is corner. Because our matched couple is not together, I can tell you each man has his station lady by the hand. Everybody's got his corner by the hand. Sir, do you have your corner by the hand? Yes, you do. Do you have your corner by the hand? Yes. Do you have yours? Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, it worked. Now, I didn't know that. I didn't know who all the corners were, but it just works. So ways that you actually change the stations involve changing the membership of the group. We've already seen if you take a man and his station lady out of the group, replace him with another man and his station lady, it doesn't change the station. That makes sense, okay? Calls that move, think of the stations arranged geometrically. Think of partner kind of where the number one man might be. Think of the opposite lady station across from there. Think of the corner station to the perhaps to the left of where that guy was, and the right-hand lady over on the side. Kind of like you might have in a square. Just think of that for a moment. If we make a call that moves any one dancer out of a group of 4, replacing that dancer with one other, the station is going to change. It's going to rotate 1 notch around the outside of that diagram from partner station to either corner station next to it or right-hand lady station next to it. Somebody give me a call that will move any one dancer from one line to the other. AC-doocy. Go ahead. Okay, we were in the right-hand lady station, if I remember right. We were in corner station. Of course we were. Of course we were. So the station is going to rotate from corner to either partner station or opposite lady.
Can anybody tell me right now without doing another thing where you're at?
Opposite lady station. Absolutely. So if we move one dancer across again, we're going to go from opposite lady to either corner or right-hand lady. Somebody give me a call. Move one dancer. Centers circulate. Good. Okay. How many matches? Well, it's either opposite lady, or excuse me, it's either right-hand lady or corner. Is our corner present? No. So it's got to be right-hand lady. It is indeed. You're not standing next to your right-hand lady, but you're right. Every man's right-hand lady, every lady's left-hand man is in the box with her. All right. So we can move one dancer at a time. We'll rotate the station around. If we move 2 dancers from one side to the other, we have 2 different cases. Where earlier we saw couples circulate, that preserved the station because we were moving a man and his station lady. If we don't move a man and his station lady, let me get right back to you, Oz. If we move any other two dancers beside that man and his station lady, the station's going to change to the one across the way. We've just said that we're in the right-hand lady station now. The one across the way is corner station. So I don't happen to remember exactly who's out here on the floor, but I know this works. Couples circulate. We move two dancers to the other group. Oh, look, our corners are present everywhere. Now, if you knew that every man's corner was in a group of four, could you resolve from there? Of course you could. It would be simple. If you knew that you were in a right-hand lady station and all you had to do to get to corners was move two people across, you could do that. Piece of cake. And we'll look at some trivial resolutions. Oz, you had a question.
Yeah, you sort of half answered the question that I was going to ask right there, but I've been through this several times, and I keep running up against what's the usefulness of this relationship stuff?
I hear that a lot. I'll take that question. No, I get that question all the time because sight callers can't see the benefit to knowing where you're at. Let me ask you this: can sight callers launch get outs from any of those stations they want, or do they have to migrate back to a zero box or a zero partner line or a corner box to launch their get outs? Probably they have to go back, and they have to waste a lot of time probably getting back because they got a sight call their way back. So they start what they learned in sight calling. I got to circulate and pair somebody until I accidentally get somebody I know, and then I got to work my way around to a corner box or a partner line. Good God, 25 calls later, I might get to my get out. We're talking about doing get outs on the fly, knowing where you're at all the time. And before we get to that, I want to show you how to get out of each one of these. If you know that you're at the right-hand lady or the corner, we know we're at the corner now, correct? When you're at your corner and you know it, you need to put the paired couple on the outside of the set. That's your resolve. Bend the line. Reverse flutter wheel. Star through. Can I resolve here? What did Jerry? You could, but it's not a resolve. You're going to be out of sequence, and you're going to have your opposite lady. So how could that be a resolve? I'm talking, can you resolve from here, yes or no? Yes. No, you can't resolve. How are you going to resolve? You're going to end up element left, come back to your opposite lady, and you're going to be out of sequence. Once again, I'll ask the question, can you resolve from here? No, you cannot resolve from here. Right and left through. You mean resolve in one call? No, I mean resolve. Yeah, in one call. Right and left through. Exactly. Can you resolve here? Yes. All right. Pass through, trade by. We're over at the right-hand lady's house. When you know you're over at the right-hand lady's house, to resolve the square, you put the paired couple in the middle and call pass through, trade by. Everybody swing through. Boy run around the girls. Bend the line. Star through. Will that pass through, trade by work here? Touch a quarter. Split circulate. Boy run. Right and left through. Star through. Will that pass through, trade by to the corner work here? No. Jerry just told you when you resolve at the right-hand lady, you got to put the paired couple in the middle and call pass through, trade by. Where's the paired couple? Then that's not where Jerry said to put them, is it? Jerry said to put the paired couple where when you're at the right-hand lady's house? In the middle. Let's put them in the middle then. Right and left through. Now it'll work. Now you're ready. Pass through, trade by, element left your corner. All right? Square your sets. I want to get back to your question. Heads past the ocean. Extend. And I know I'm over here working around at the right-hand lady's house. And I know I'm there. Here's one beautiful thing about this, knowing where you're at. Let's say that I'm calling. I know I'm at my right-hand lady's house. And my pilot square breaks down. I'm okay. Because I'm going to look at another square and I'm going to find somebody I know. George and Ethel. I'll see them. Or Pat and Henry over there. I know them. I'll put Pat and Henry, guess where? In the middle. And then what am I going to call? And I just saved my Didn't I? Could a sight caller do that? Absolutely not. If I know I'm at my right-hand lady's house, there's a gazillion get-outs from over here. Girls trade, swing through, balance, circulate, once and a half, look for your partner, right and left grand. That's why we call with relationships. Sight callers don't do that. They got to go set that up. Now, a sight caller that says, well, I can sight call that. Well, sure you can. And especially if you call multiple dances a week, you'll get good at that, but they're not really sight calling. They're using modules to get over there to set that up. But by us paying attention and knowing where we're at all the time, we can set that up and launch that sucker anytime we want. At the snap of a finger, we can launch it. Sight callers can't do that.
So by going back, my part of your answer, value of relationships. First, it's quick and easy to be able to recognize what setup the dancers are in. There's only 4 choices, only 1 or 2 questions to ask yourself. It's quick and easy to identify. Once you identify, then you know what you need to do to resolve in very quick and simple steps. Furthermore, if you're using memorized get-outs, you can memorize a get-out from any of those 4 stations easily. I mean, the put the paired couple on the inside, pass through, trade by from right-hand lady. That's one simple memorized get-out. If you're in corner station, put the paired couple on the outside, Alaman left. That's a trivial memorized get-out. But you can dress those up, make them whatever you want, as long as you can see where the starting points are. Using relationships makes it very easy for us to see the starting points. Dancing with opposite ladies. Typically, sight callers have no clue who the opposite ladies are all the time. They might remember opposite of their primary man, but most of the time, if you don't have those 2 together, you're in trouble. So it's very easy to see all of these circumstances, very easy to resolve, and then the ability to actually work off of multiple squares when you need to is right there. All right, so we've talked about the existence of the 4 stations. We've talked about how to preserve those 4 stations when you're moving dancers around the floor. We've talked about how to deliberately, intentionally change the station by moving 1 or 2 dancers across the way. And then we've talked about some of the trivial get-outs. And that, Jerry, was the end of, that's where I wanted to hand it back to you. All right, thank you guys.
Barry Johnson, thank you. That was excellent, Barry. Absolutely excellent. I want to touch on this isolated site that he was talking about. I want to expand on that a little bit. The site calling that we do use, and I contend all we need to use, is a little bit. The site calling to move us around if I've got a theme that I'm going to use, then I'm going to theme using a site calling. I want to make it, but the site calling is not to figure out where I'm at. It's to make sure the body flow feels good, to make sure that it dances well, and my timing is good. Those sort of things. So what we want to do now is go back and take a look at a drill that I think helps callers a lot. If you'll go take this home and work this drill, it's amazing what it'll do for you. You'll start recognizing you just can't really mess the dancers up that much unless you do it intentionally. And as long as you pay attention, you can use this little drill very effectively. You need to make sure that you theme. You know what I mean by theming? Everybody thinks they theme a dance. I theme sequences. Down to a sequence. I know if I'm going to feature cross run in that sequence, then I'm going to theme. And I might have 3 or 4 or 5 of those sequence themes in one tip. I'm always theming, okay? And here's how we're going to do it. I want heads to square through 2. And they're looking at their right-hand lady right now, okay? And since this guy over here is my man, number 1 guy, all right, I'm going to watch him just for a little bit. And I'm going to watch his right-hand lady too, just temporarily. I'm going to keep them together in my mind. Touch a quarter. And maybe my theme was to maybe split circulate once and a half was a theme that I wanted to use. Split circulate once and a half. Girls cast off 3/4, like a chain down the line. Boys courtesy turn them. I don't have them together now, so flutter wheel. Now I put my main man and his right-hand lady back together, and I've done my theme. That quick. Most callers I see do 25 calls in that box before they move them. Nope. 5 or 6. Pass through. Bend the line. Let's do it over here now. Pass the ocean. Swing through. Boy run. Half tag. Scoot back. Scoot back. Split circulate once and a half. Here comes my theme. Girls cast off 3/4 like a chain down the line. Boy turn to girl. I don't have them together. I want them together. Flutter wheel. Now I can take them around the square or I can take them through the square. Sweep a quarter. I can take them through the square as long as they're together. Don't change a thing. Pass through. Trade by. They're still together. Touch a quarter. I'll theme it one more time. Split circulate once and a half. 3/4 chain down the line. The girls cast 3. The boy turn to girl. Are they together? They are. And I know that I'm at my right-hand lady's house. How do I resolve? Put the paired couple in the middle. You can leave them on the outside and do a get out. What I want you to realize is this, though, right now. I want you to come right back here in just a second. Right and left through, star through, there's what we're talking about. We've put the paired couple in the middle, and we're ready to call what? Pass through, trade by to the corner. We know that'll work. Don't do it. Star through. I went to my first college in 1971. Earl Johnston, what a caller from the East Coast. Fantastic caller. He did this to me. I was a brand new caller. He said, everybody promenade, don't slow down. Girls roll back like a Chinese fan and promenade your left-hand man. Heads wheel around, dance up and back, and Story, get them out. Holy crap, I didn't know where they were. I was so embarrassed. I don't know where they are. And he goes, that's your right-hand lady, boy, and don't you ever forget it. And I've never forgot it, and we didn't have trade by then. This is the get out Earl Johnston gave me, and he got it from Les Gocher. Square through 4 hands. Give her right to your partner. Pull her by. Here comes the corner, Alaman left. So they were using relationships. Les Gocher, they said he was a sight caller. He knew relationships, I'll guarantee you.
So, Jerry, let me get this straight. What you did, you put them in a right-hand lady station. You danced them around a bit. You put your man together with a right-hand lady. You moved them to a different part of the square. But you knew that kept them in a right-hand lady station. You danced them around more.
Because I didn't take 2 people across like you were showing them. If you take 2 people, know that that's going to change the phaser.
If you're taking it, right, but you kept when you
I
did
kept
that.
the phaser there. I didn't take 2 people across. And do you think the dancers would know for 1 second that they were with their right-hand lady dancing all over the square all the time? No, they don't have a clue.
And when you were finished, you essentially put them in a sequence you knew. You called them memorized get out. It could have been put the paired dancers in the middle,
Correct.
pass through, trade by.
Absolutely.
And you knew it was going to work?
No question. Absolutely. 100% of the time. Work every time.
There's no doubt about this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Here's another beneficial thing. You know, sequence is a hard thing for us. How many times have you called and your dancers were out of sequence? Never? No. Never. That never happens. Well, let me tell you, with this system, the hardest places to see sequence is with your opposite and your partner. You've got to look at the boys' rotation, okay? But let me tell you something. 90% of the time, we're at our corner or our right-hand lady, I'll guarantee you. I've watched callers call, and 90% of the time, they're lost. But they're either at their corner or their right-hand lady, but they're not paying attention. They got to go start this fishing expedition to figure out where they're at. And when you're working with your opposite or your right-hand lady or your corner, sequence is totally irrelevant. And I'll show you why. Heads, past the ocean. Extend. We're at our right-hand lady's house. Swing through. And the boy trade in the middle of the ring. Hey, the boys run around the girls. Ferris wheel. Come on in. Centers, veer left. Veer right. Everybody veer right. Everybody Ferris wheel. Centers wheel around. All right, circle to the line. Here we go, and you break right out. Dance up to the middle, and you come on back. Pass through, wheel and deal. Double pass through. First couple go left. Next couple go left. Everybody promenade. Don't stop. Heads, wheel around, make a line of 4. Boogie to the middle and back. Now, I want to get out. I've been with my right-hand lady all that time. I don't have to worry about sequence at all. I don't care. Could care less. Because I know that what I'm going to call works. So you don't have to worry about sequence. And that's nice. That takes 1 plate that we have to spin and drops it to the floor. We don't need it. Because calling is like spinning 6 plates at once. And the less plates we have to spin, the better. This is 1 plate we're not having to spin here. We don't worry about sequence. All we know is what Jerry said, and Jerry says it works. By golly, it will work. How do we resolve? Star through. Pass through. Trade by. Element left. This is not rocket science. It's so much simpler than fishing and hunting around trying to pair up your corner. It's unbelievable. If that's the way you're calling, I would suggest you stop that immediately and start studying relationships. It will do you a world of good. And it'll make you such a better caller, and you'll have more control over your calling by starting with this. If you go home, I know it's hard to do, but go home and practice. Go into your right hand. You can do the same thing with your corner. You can isolate with your corner. And when you get ready to resolve, then you'd put the paired couple on the outside and call element left, or any other get out that would come to mind. But just remember all the things that you can do just by having a little self-discipline. A lot of sight callers say, oh, I could never do that. You're tying my hands. My hands feel like they're tied behind my back, and I just don't like that. Why? Just because you can't, you got to keep from circulating two people? Look at all the other stuff that you can do, and you don't have to call like this all the time. But if you're doing a convention somewhere and there's 50 squares on the floor, the last thing I would do is get up there and sight call to the very front square. That's pretty stupid. I see guys do it all the time. I'm calling with them. I'm standing there and they look over at me and they go, you know who's anybody's corner is? And I'm always nice and tell them, you know, because they were sight calling right off the bat with the weakest square on the floor. So, and I'm watching somebody that I know somewhere else that's a stronger dancer. Hardly ever do I watch the weakest square on the floor. Why would you want to do that? You know, find the better dancers and follow them around. All right, we're getting kind of short on time. But everybody understand what I'm saying about sequence? To me, that's powerful. That's just one less play. I don't have to worry about sequence when I'm working with my corner or my right-hand lady. But if you're with opposite, and here's something else. I want Jed to come up here just a minute. Come here, Jed. For example, if you were to take and want to do a get-out from an opposite lady line, Jed, how would we set that up? You know the 8-chain-3 get-out? Why don't you show him how to do an 8-chain-3 to an element left and explain to him as we go what's going on, and I'll help you, all right?
Heads square through 4.
All right. He's going straight to his corner. Tell him why you're going there, Jed.
Because when you do the magic module with the paired on the outside, it gets to partner. But everybody right and left through, when you turn the box upside down, it's going to go to your opposite.
What he just said was, let me reiterate. What he just said was he turned the box upside down by doing a right and left through. He flipped it inside out. He knows that from right and left through, go again. He knows, and all of you guys know, from here the magic module, which is what? Swing through, girls circulate, boy trade, boy run, bend the line, converts from a corner box to a partner line, right and left through. Jed also knows that if you flip the box upside down, where are you going, Jed?
To opposite, and instead of being in sequence with partner, it's going to be out of sequence with opposite.
Correct. Let's try it and see if that works, Jed.
Swing through, girls circulate, boys trade, boys run, bend the line.
Cool, and what's the get out, Jed?
Slide through an 8-chain-3.
1, 2.
And element lift your corner.
Thanks, Jed. Nice hand for Jed Sigmund. These two youngsters have relationships figured out, guys and gals. And they've been working on this just a couple of years. And I've been with them maybe three times. Is all that it's taken. But there goes to show you that what their knowledge of square dancing and being able to move the dancers around, they have control of their choreography now. And that's a wonderful thing. When they go out calling, they feel more confident. They're in control of the floor. They know where they're going. Instead of having to hunt and fish, and you got to stop calling like that. It's not good. It's not efficient. And here's what happens with sight callers. I see it all the time. Some of them do pretty good with their timing, and their timing will be coming along pretty good. And then I'll say resolve, and their timing goes in the toilet. It slows down, and they start looking and circulating and trading somebody. You got to get past that and get to places you know and call things that you know, even if it's simple stuff. We'll get to the more complex stuff later. But some of us need to reel our calling back in and go back to the basics, and this is all this is. This is what I learned in 1971. I think it's still beneficial today. No, I take that back. I know it's beneficial today, more than ever probably.
One last real quick comment. As we were talking about recognizing the station, I was asking one or two questions. How many matches? And sometimes, if needed, I'd ask if you got corner. That takes a moment for you to do. especially until you get practiced at it, until you start seeing it beforehand. It takes a moment to figure out the answers to those questions. Keep the dancers moving while you're doing it. Head square through 4. Okay, we've been dancing for a while. I'm not sure what station we're in. I'm about to start trying to figure it out. Swing through. Okay, how many matches do I have? I've got 1 match. Boys run. Ferris wheel. Let's see, was my corner in there? Yes. Pass through. Oh, there's my corner. Yes, Alaman left. Okay. So I was able, just by calling a trivial 0, swing through, boys run, Ferris wheel, centers pass through, that gave me 5 seconds to figure out what station I was in. You can keep the dancers moving while you're sorting out the answer to that question or two. It's just a few seconds of mindless calling of simple zeros that will give you the time, if you need it, to figure out that answer. All right, thanks. Jerry, anything else to wrap up?
Wheel and deal. Double pass through. Centers in. Centers California twirl. Ends run. Only around 1. Past the ocean. Where are we? Right hand lady. That wasn't as quick as I would have liked. Swing through. Girls circulate, boys trade. Where are we? Opposite. That wasn't as quick as I'd like. AC-doocy. Where are we? That's as quick as I'd like. Swing through. Girls run around the boys. Tag the line all the way through. Face right. Couples circulate. Bend the line. Right and let through. Dixie style. Everybody tag the line all the way through. Turn to the right. Ferris wheel. Centers reverse wheel around. Keep turning. Keep turning. Keep turning. Where are we?
Right hand.
Right hand lady. Very quick. Very good. Now you're coming along. Pass through. Trade by. Where are we?
Corner.
Hot dog. Star through. Pass through and tag the line all the way through. Face out. Wheel and deal. Centers veer right. Veer left. Swing through. Where are we? Good job. Boys run. Bend the line. Past the ocean. Where are we? Swing through. 2x2. Boys trade. Where are we? Swing through. Boys circulate twice. Girls trade. Girls circulate once in the middle. Everybody swing through, and the girls circulate. You go 2.5, and the boys trade. The boys circulate. You go 1.5, and you walk right in. Or right or left grand. You partner right in. Or right or left grand.
How does he do that?
And celebrate a little bit. All right, let's play some more. Heads lead left. Veer right. Ferris wheel. Centers wheel around. Touch a quarter. Centers trade, boys trade, girls trade, centers trade, and the girls trade. And everybody reverse flutter wheel. Past the ocean. Swing through, 2x2. Where are we? Beautiful. Circulate. Where are we? You should have been able to say that as quick as Randy. We were at your opposite. We knew where we were going. Now you shut up. No, but he seen it. He knew that we were at our opposite, and you guys should have been that quick too. I'm going to do it again now. You're at your partner. Everybody's got their partner. Circulate. Where are we? That's what I'm looking for. Swing through. Boys circulate. Girls trade. Swing through. Where are we? Everybody circulate. Where are we? No. Corner. This is the one that fools people. This is called a technical zero. And it fools people. And let me show you what I just did. Anytime that there's a pairing in your wave that has actually got their hand held, usually this would change the phaser, wouldn't it? Boys trade. If we do it from here, it changes the phaser. This will now go from corner to right-hand lady. Circulate. It changed the phaser. Circulate. It changed the phaser. Back to corner. Boys trade. When you've got two paired, though, it will not change the phaser. However, it will unpair the paireds and pair the unpaireds. And this is a fancy invert and rotate type thing. Well, I'll show you if you're not familiar with what invert and rotate means. It means you rotate to another spot of the square and you change this swap partners, but you're still with the same people. In other words, watch what happens. The orange are going to pair up and the purples will pair up and will unpair the greens, but it still will be a corner phaser. Watch. Circulate. Let's ask ourselves the questions. Is there a pair I know? Is the corner there? Yes, it didn't change, but it did something good for us. It let them dance with other people in the square. And all this time we knew where we were. Very powerful. Circulate again. Did that change anything? No, the phaser didn't change, but it paired back up the other couples. So we're still in the corner phaser. Swing through. I'll show you another one that fools people. Girls trade, boys circulate. Swing through, and where are we? Circulate, where are we? Hot diggity dog. Boy run. Ferris wheel. Double pass through. And where are we? It's partner. This one will fool you more than any of the others because the two couples that you might have been watching might have been orange and green. Well, they're separated, you see. Everybody partner trade. Centers pass through. Touch a quarter. Centers trade. Boys trade. Girls trade. Centers circulate. Girls run. Past the ocean. Where are we? Where? Right-hand lady. Swing through. Where are we? Swing through. Where are we? Circulate. Where are we? Swing through. Where are we? Circulate. Where are we? That's the one that will fool you. It doesn't change when you've got a pair. It just inverted them all. Invert means that these guys are going to unpair and you guys are going to pair up. Circulate. Did that change anything? Nope. Circulate. Did that change anything? Nope. Swing through. Did that change anything? Nope. Circulate. Did that change anything? Absolutely. Circulate. Did that change anything? Yep. Swing through. Did that change anything? Circulate. Did that change anything? No. Circulate. Did that change anything? No. Swing through. Did that change anything? Circulate. Did that change anything? Where are we? You guys are getting good. Just think if I just had a few more days with you. Good job, guys. You're catching on. It's that simple. These kids told me the other day, they said, you know, we kept thinking that there was more. There was more. And he said, we finally figured out that there isn't. This is just it. It's simple. It's that simple. Sometimes we think it's so simple that smart guys can't catch on to it. You got to kind of be an old dumb farmer like me to catch on, I guess. Not really. If I can figure it out and these kids can figure it out, anybody can figure it out. It's just not rocket science. Circulate. Did that change anything? Where are you? Circulate. Did that change anything? Cool. Boy run around a girl. Bend the line. Right and left through. Where are we? Star through. Can I resolve from here? After I pass through and trade by, or what else can we do from here? Have you guys ever seen the get out that a lot of callers use where they Alaman left, right and left grand, and on the third hand promenade? This is it. This is where it happens. Guess where we're at? Over at the right-hand lady's house having dinner. But instead of calling pass-through trade by, I want to mix it up a little bit. Alaman left to the corner. Grand right and left. On your third hand, meet your partner. Box the gnat. Do a wrong way, grand right and left, go the wrong way around. When you meet your partner over there, box the gnat again. Boys, star left in the middle. Girls, circulate home. Swing your honey high and low. Chicken in the bread pan, picking out dough. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun.
Dun, dun. Questions? We're going to start wrapping things up. Any questions? Randy.
Before, when we were pairing up a couple and you were asking, could we resolve from there? And you wanted us to, if it was a right-hand lady thing, you needed the paired up couple on the inside, correct? Okay. So
If you're going to pass through trade by. Now, this is just an easy way to teach corner, put them on the outside, right-hand lady, put them on the inside, and call pass through trade by. Then we expand from there with the get outs.
okay, so let's have the heads square through two. And a right and a left through. So here we know we're ready to do the pass-through trade by. But you were saying, could we resolve from here? And some of the callers were saying, well, yes and no, and depending on what they knew. If you do another right and left through, do that for me, gang. Now you had your paired couple on the outside. But do you ever resolve with knowing that you can do one or two calls and get to the partner?
Sure, if that's what I want to do. But chances are, if I'm going to do that, I'll have been flying by her.
Jerry, can you...
I would have probably done it when I was there, rather than to take something I've already got and go swap it for something
Jerry,
else.
can you repeat that answer on the microphone
Yeah.
for the tape, please?
Say the question again so everybody knows it. Tell me what it was.
I forgot it. Now, with the paired up couple on the outside, normally from here, it would be a right-hand lady progression, right? We got. So we know that we can do the. No, we had the paired up couple on the inside to do the pass-through trade by. So I'm saying from here, if I wanted to do a get out, you were asking, could we do a get out? Well, yeah, you can if you know where they're at and who they're with and all of that.
Let's just say that the get out that I was thinking about was bend the line, boy walk, girl dodge, girl walk, boy dodge, girl run, boy run, everybody face from right and left grand. Maybe that's what's in my mind. And I see where I'm at right here. And I know I'm where? Right-hand lady. Then in my mind, I'm going to go with a magic module because I know that it's going to take me to a partner line out of sequence. And that's exactly where I'd want to be to execute that particular get out. Swing through. I convert to a partner line. Girl circulate, boy trade. It started at the right-hand lady, boy run, so I know I'm going to be out of sequence. Bend the line, boy walk, girl dodge, girl walk, boy dodge, girl run around boy, boy run around girl. Everybody turn to face and grand right and left. It's those kind of things that you take what's available. And from there, and there's 100 things that would have been available if I wanted to go to my partner for if I had something I thought of, just in case I don't forget it, I'll maybe, yes, to answer your question, yeah, sure. I'd go to my partner and set that up and do that before it dropped out of my mind because there's a lot of stuff up there rolling around.
I believe that, yeah. But what I do, and I don't know if it's just through the luck of experience or whatever, but I'll see calls that will do one call and I got my get out. At the most, sometimes 3. So from that setup, I was thinking of just the old cross trail through call would have done just perfect to a right and left grand.
There's a gazillion things that you can do.
Okay, so.
Take whatever is available or take what's in your mind and go set it up somehow.
Yeah.
The important thing is being able to see where you're at. Once you know where you're at by through these kinds of techniques, you can then launch whatever get out you find appropriate from any spot on the floor. Work from there instead of trying to force people back to a corner box or partner lines or something and then play get outs from there. You can start from any station.
What I like to do a lot of times to accommodate dancers, especially today with the age of the dancers, because they're going to shortcut anyway, So, they don't promenade, they don't alameth, they don't do nothing anymore. So you just try to accommodate them best you can and then do at-home resolutions. So I try to set those up a lot. And one for you at mainstream it's just a cool resolution. You got to stir the bucket halfway, which is nothing more than an invert and rotate. Heads step into the center and face your corner. Here's your basic invert and rotate. You're at your corner now, right? And look who's paired up, the purples and the oranges, right? But everybody's at their corner, right? Okay, here is the basic invert and rotate that everybody should learn first thing in caller school. Star through, pass through, bend the line, and star through. Now, it's still at corner, but look what happened. Now the sides are paired and the heads are, or the vice versa. The sides are unpaired and the heads are paired now. All right? And look, everybody's halfway across from home, right? So the bucket is half stirred in my mind. If somebody said, okay, we're doing the corner box half stirred, boom, this is what I'm talking about. 8 chain 3.5. Courtesy turn your partner. Is that a nice get out? Nothing wrong with that. And they're home. The dancers appreciate it. I don't like to do that all the time, but they appreciate that once in a while, so they don't have to promenade. I don't really resolve and make them promenade 3/4. If I resolve over there, circle left, everybody, 1/4. If I resolve here, I'm going to do something to get them back around to their home spot. Because if I said, or better yet, if I said circle left another half, keep going. If I resolved here, keep going, one more. If I resolved here, they're going to back up 1/4 on me. I'd like to kick them right in the rear, but that's what they're going to do, right? Right? I don't let them. I will never say, Alaman left, come back and promenade, ever. And that's the reason why, because they're not going to do it, and it makes me mad. And I can't get mad because we're supposed to be happy all the time. So I smile and I don't do it. Alaman left your corner. Come back and box the net with your partner. If it's mainstream, I can't call spin the top, but I can call this. Girls star left in the middle and the boys circulate. And when you meet your partner, slide through. Celebrate! Celebrate! But that is accommodating the dancers, and it makes me happy too. I don't have to, if I don't like something, I don't fight it. Have you seen this on square through? And all that crap? I just don't call it. I got dancers coming up to me that like to do that. They come up and they go, you ever going to call square through? And I go, nope. And they go, well, why not? And I say, because you don't dance it right. And they go, huh? But they end up going back and telling their friends, well, he said he's not going to call it because we don't dance it right. So then they come back up later and they say, aren't you just going to call one square through? And I don't know why they want to do that. I guess I do know why. It's because we call 10 million square throughs. Every one of our singing calls starts off with a square through. Every one of our patterns call off with a square through. Every time we want to get to a corner box, what do you call? Square through. So it's our own fault, and I believe with all my heart that that's the same way with do-si-do. You know why they started modifying do-si-do? We called too darn many of them. Cut them all out. That's what I do. I don't even call do-si-do anymore. And then when I do call it, it's a kind of a treat. What I did replace it with in Ocean Waves was balance. Balance is a cool call. Balance will help you out in a lot of areas doing, like scoop backs, for example. Dancers can't scoop back from parallel waves. Head step in and face your corner. Step to an ocean wave here. They can't scoop back from here because the waves are too far apart. Hinge. Now your waves are close together. This is where we scoop back from because it's easier. But we never teach the dancers this one. Hinge. Again. We never teach them this one. But if we balance, look straight ahead. What I said right there. Balance, and while they're balancing, look straight ahead. Oh, there she is. Scoot back. The balance helped them create that forward and back motion, so when they come back in for the scoot back, they couldn't miss. Swing through. Boys, run around the girls. And plus, it's a fun call. Bend the line. Pass the ocean. Let's balance here. Do good job. Scoot back. Here we go. It's good timing. Boys trade. Boys run. The other thing real quick, that if you're doing this, stop doing it. If you call up to the middle and back, give them time to do the call. Here's what I hear all the time. Bend the line up to the middle and back, and then rattle it through and turn the girl. That is so wrong. That is like they taught me in auctioneer school. You don't say hool. It's guttural. A good auctioneer, you'll never hear him say hool. Hool, give me 10, hool, give me 10. They don't say that. And a good caller will never say up to the middle and back and a right and left through. A good caller would say, up to the middle and back. And rattle it through. It's 4 counts. Square your sets. Static square. Go ahead, square your sets. From here, it's 8 counts. I hear this all the time. Heads go up to the middle and back. Square through, and you got to go 4. How in the heck did they expect him to do that? Well, they didn't give you time to do nothing, but I hear that all the time, even from professional callers, and it just drives me nuts why they do that. If they're going to call it, let them dance it. And if you're going to cheat them, don't call it at all. One or the other. Heads go up and back. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, right, now let through and turn the girl. That's called dancing. It's the groove. So many times we walk around today, or we run like crazy. I see both of those, but I don't see in the groove dancing like that very much anymore. And we need to put that back into our dancing along with controlling your calling so we're not breaking squares down so much.
Calm down. I worry about my friend Jerry. The thing about the forward, up, and back, I was at a school where a lot of callers were saying, well, the reason why we do that is because that's an indication that those people are going to do the next call. And that is so wrong, too. Just because you say, heads go up to the middle and they come on back, and the sides do a right or left through, it didn't mean that the heads were going to do the next call. But a lot of callers out there, and some of them are training and trying to pass on to students that this is an indication that you're going to do the next call, and that's why they don't go forward and back properly. Okay, are you rested up? Your heart's okay?
Thanks for the break. I needed that. Wow. All right, any questions before we break? Yeah. Yes, sir. He was my hero.
David Fullaway from Hawaii. And I heard Les Gotcher's name mentioned, and a lot of you may not know, but Les Gotcher died in Hawaii. He left the mainland, went to Hawaii, and married a woman who was square dance Hawaii on the Big Island, Sunshine Ebear. And when I went and visited him, so I got to meet him in Hilo, and he gave me a copy of his book. And in his book, it's interesting, because he had a system of identifying where he was at. He would shift weight. And the book is described, he shift weight or he would do a hand signal. So he knew from hand signal, he didn't have to memorize or watch or look or sight at all because he knew where he was standing or where his hand was, where he was on the square. And then he had his 1, 2, or 3 call resolve all set. But Les Gotcher, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
Question time. Ask anything. Now's the chance. Going once? From that right hand? All right. Hey, we got a few minutes. I can give you about 3 of them in about 3 minutes.
Get out
Head
from the
square
right-hand
through
lady
2.
line.
Stay right there. I go home first. Now, stay there. Square your sets first. All right. That's where you started. All right. Head square through 2. We're at the right-hand lady, right? Okay. I want to show you something that's in a very powerful place to be. If I said to Randy or Tony or any of my other buddies, if I said Dixie Grand Line, Randy would know in a minute what Dixie Grand Line means. It's before you do the Dixie Grand. It's where you would pass through Wheel and Deal and Dixie Grand. And we know that a Dixie Grand is the paired couple in the middle, and the unpaired with the corner behind is the setup for a Dixie Grand to an element left, correct? Swing through. When you're over at your right-hand lady's house, boys run, bend the line, right and left through. Put the paired couple on the right-hand side of the line, and this is called a Dixie Grand line. And the reason it's a Dixie, I want you to remember this line now because we're coming back here a lot. So remember where you are on the floor. When I say go back to your Dixie Grand line, this is where I want you to go, okay? From here, pass through, wheel and deal. Notice that the paired couple is in front and the unpaired with the corner is behind. That's such a visual that you can see for a Dixie Grand. Dixie Grand, right, left, right, element left your corner, and promenade home. Dixie Grand line. It's powerful. All right, so from here we can start some different get-outs. Pass through, wheel and deal. Dixie Grand, but on your third hand. Box the net. And look where I'm at. I don't want to resolve here. I could just say promenade home if I want. And a short one I might, but you could do this too. Boys star left. Girls circulate. Meet your partner. Then do a right and left grand. And why did I do that? Because now I will be home. Dixie Grand line. Touch a quarter. Circulate once and a half. Girls trade and roll. Alamen left. Square your sets. You can say girls trade and you turn back. You don't have to say roll. All right. Dixie Grand line. Touch a quarter. Circulate once and a half. Girls trade and slide apart. Boys, you got a great big old star. Can you circulate twice, guys? Go. Girls, you got a big old box of 4. Girls, circulate twice. Go, girls. Come on, make sure it's twice. All the boys, you turn back. Hand around a left, grand, right, and left, boys. Boys, slow down a little bit. Girls, hurry up a little bit. Are you home? Dixie Grand line. Here we go. All right. Pass through. Wheel and deal. If we know this is a Dixie Grand setup, what happens if we do this? Centers half sachet. It's exactly the same way, and the dancers will do it for you. Just tell them what to do. Dixie Grand, right pull by, same sex, left pull by. Pull your partner by, element left, same sex. Come back, face your partner for a mixed up grand. Some go the wrong way, it's okay, just get going. When you meet your partner, I want you to box the net. And do another right and left grand. Here we go, the wrong way around the ring. Swing your honey high and low, chicken in the bread pan, picking out dough. Go, Randy.
You don't like biscuits, feed or cornbread.
Dixie Grand line.
Pass through. Wheel and deal. Double pass through. You writing these down, Jeff? Oh, okay. Peel off. Pass through. Oh, you know this one. 3/4 tag.
Hand around a left, grand, right, and left, boys. Now, when you meet your partner, get home, and let's do that again. Dixie Grand line. Here we go. Pass through, wheel and deal. But did you know this? You don't have to do that double pass through first. Peel off. Everybody, 3/4 tag. Hand around a left, grand, right, and left, boys. And for the mainstreamers, you can modify that. Dixie Grand line. Pass through. Wheel and deal. Zoom. Double pass through. Put centers in and cast off a half. That was all equivalent to a peel off. The double pass through and peel off. Half. Pass through. Half tag. Step on through to your partner. Grand, right, and left. And I'm out of left, grand. So there's ways to modify it down to whatever level you want to use it at. All right? I think we're running over time. Nice hand for Barry Johnson. He's worked awfully hard on this stuff, and he does a great job.
And the master of all, Jerry Story.
Thank you very much. Jed, thank you. Everybody, thanks a lot. We'll see you at 4 o'clock is the Sustainable Square Dancing Birds of a Feather meeting. Don't miss it. Texas Room, 4 o'clock. Okay?